like a really loose, like a, you know what I mean?
Well,
like
flop
just
shot.
Like a flop shot.
A little mini
Which
flop.
I don't think I can flop this. I don't know the club at all. Oops, no, I can't.
Yeah, what you control is point A to point B. You're not in control what happens next. The ground is. You have to guess and plan on what you think the ground will do. But what you have absolute control over is point A to point B.
Okay, so you want the ball to end up in the middle of that set first square.
I like it to hit here and hit there.
Oh, hit there.
Hit in the air here.
Oh, I wouldn't even know how to. If I do that with this club, it's going to go past. It will go too far.
Well, you can. It is
Unless I can
possible
put
to
it up
move our.
higher.
It is possible to move our body with this club, where it goes in that one and stops in the next one. So now you arrived at the ball with too much speed.
Right.
So we have to arrive at the ball with less speed.
Right.
And we don't want to decelerate.
Okay.
So what are
Shorten it.
we have
And
to
just
shorten our
shorten it.
backswing, really short.
Okay.
Okay. No, you're right. That's a good way to look at it. I'm going to start on one end of the spectrum and work to the other end.
Oh, it was closer.
But that was exactly, and so now that's in the family of where you're aiming.
Sure.
That's pretty close to what you want. There you go. You found the blend.
to where to at least drop it in the
Right. Now, let's say that you had to, you're on this little practice chipping area, and you had two clubs to use. One is the 64, and one is this one, to make it go there. Which of the two clubs would be traveling at a slower miles per hour and accomplish the same task?
That one.
Absolutely. You'd have to swing the other one a little bit faster.
Might have, sure.
Sure.
Put some speed on it.
That's
to get
the
it to go that way.
reason this is the better choice once
Okay.
you've learned to use both choices. Sometimes we don't hit it clean. Sometimes we hit it.
But at least it's going to end up closer. My miss hits will end up closer with this than it will with
That's
a
right.
drop shot.
If I'm going 40 miles an hour, the difference between here and here is not much. In fact, I may be right next to the hole with this one. But on the other one, I've got to go 60 miles an hour. There's a big difference between here and here. I'm over the green with the other one.
I knew there was some advantages to being able to.
My
pitch
misses
with
will be better.
With chip with even an 8 iron if it's
Absolutely.
just bumping
If
it
this
a little
green's a
bit
little bit
along the
closer.
roll. Right.
You know. Now, in terms of the other fundamentals of a good chippy, you're gonna, if you read 10 books on short game, you're not gonna hear 10 different opinions on how to do it. You're almost gonna read the same
Oh, okay.
thing,
Never read anything on that.
and that is they're gonna tell you to choke up.
Okay.
You don't need that. Full grip is full length is a power move. You don't need power for this shot. We want precision and consistency, so we choke down to give us that, a little bit more of that. We don't need the full width stance. We want to have very quiet.
That's right too.
What's that?
That's how that is. When you put something in my hand that wasn't a 64, I didn't even know what to do. So I just okay. But I actually do with my 64. I do that.
Absolutely.
Like pull through.
And so you want. In fact, you'll see a lot of pros when you're watching the Masters this week. Start paying attention to little things like that. Look how close those feet are for that little chip shot.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. You'll see almost less than 6 inches sometimes.
Believe it or not, that's actually how I would set.
Good. And you'll see them open it just
I
slightly.
do that too.
Good. So you're doing things naturally.
It's just it surprises me how easily you can confuse me by giving me something that I haven't done.
They will also make sure that the majority of the weight's on their left side.
I try to do that too.
Okay. They want that low point of the arc. They want, if they're going to hit the ground, they don't want to hit the ground here.
Exactly.
They
Otherwise
want to
it just chunks. And doesn't
So
work.
they're going to.
Well, yeah, that's nice. I see it accelerating.
And I'm not flipping.
Right.
This angle that I set up with, I still have. My handle is right in front of my belly button, just like it started. So I'm not keeping my belly button here and just swinging this past my chest. I'm swinging this as a one-piece connection. Fewer moving parts to coordinate.
Right.
So let's work on that technique on your own. It's not going to be ready for the party, but we're going to start building it right now. Okay. You're just trying to hold the geometry together as you come through with your chest. But you're almost. Now what? I don't.
I looked up like this.
And I don't want this recoil.
Okay.
Hold. Hold and reflect. Hold a little bit longer. Good. That's what I want. I want you to work. I want you to practice the form of practice so that you use the practice is efficiently used. Holding it is a very important part of the practice.
Real tight.
Very relaxed. Swing. You're really working. That was excellent. So you're really working on swinging the chest.
Okay.
That's what you're monitoring in your swing right now. Monitor that chest swing. So your club's only going as fast as you can turn the chest. You're not hitting it with your hands. Good. I want you to we'll hit just a couple more, then we'll do full swing. I want you to do a practice rehearsal swing, but I want you to really be heavier on the left side and stay there. Yeah. More weight on the left. Good. You hit it thin, but hit the zone and stop in the other zone. That's why this is the right choice.
That did not.
Well, you're working on this technique. You haven't mastered it yet. Oh, that felt better.
And I did, but I didn't hold it.
Nice little high draw.
That's my kind of natural shot, and what I found was I'm on your cock real fast.
So you're still. That's a beautiful shot.
Swing?
Yeah, we're going to hit 4-5 and see what your subconscious mind does here.
Oh, right again. That was loose. At the beginning, and then I pinched it.
Yeah, but these are all, none of them, the crazy left is gone.
Gone.
It's just gone.
I haven't had a bad life shot since we started this. And I haven't had too many real
And
super
more and
ugly-
more of them are starting to get back to the center here. The crazy rights are starting to go away as well. That's a quality shot right there.
That felt good. This is, like again, for me hitting a 6-iron like this, I'm very happy.
That looks really good.
Just a little grip change, huh? That's fairly consistent too. Oh, that's my best.
Look at
swing.
that one. That's
my
beautiful.
best shot.
That's
And
beautiful.
the hands were looser.
Let's hit
That's
that
out
driver.
there. That's out there a ways for
That's a great shot.
how I was hitting a 6 just a while ago. Okay.
Now, unfortunately,
I got a new grip. I don't know which one to use.
well, ideally you have one grip for golf.
Oh, so the new one? Just use the new one?
Well, that's your goal. It's a regular flex. That's right down the middle of the fairway.
Too high.
See, I don't want you to spend a lot of time thinking about mechanics, but I do want you to let this wave of calm kind of wash over you before you pull the trigger. Settle into it emotionally. It's a great ball. That's big too.
That's good. I like that. Elbow was out a little bit.
You need to make sure that the mechanics give you repeatability.
Can I swing one that how it feels good for me?
Sure. Well, yeah.
That's. I don't know what it'll do with your club, but. In my core, in my body, that feels good. When I swung hard.
I like hard swings with drivers, as long as
But
you maintain form and balance.
Right. New grip. Okay, new grip. Loose your hands.
That's big. Oh, you might hit them. That's about where some of those were bouncing. That's the biggest you've hit today.
Yeah, I'm trying now.
Yeah, we're in Mesquite now.
I'm doing. I don't know if can do this, but I even get like lower on the finger, and I like your trigger finger. Is that okay?
I sure like that last shot.
I sure like to be able to do that.
That was 20 yards further than the one before.
Right, but I'd like to be able to do that with effort.
That's a beautiful shot. That's a beautiful shot. Wes is going to go over your swing a little bit and compare it to Grant Waite, who was a tour player during the 90s. They said he had one of the best swings in golf. He's now one of the top instructors of tour players. Got you at the impact position for both. There's going to be, because you do already have a very solid foundation of fundamentals, we're going to have to look for the subtle nuances of the golf swing to see what areas might be tweaked to make you even a better golfer. I'm going to draw a box from the center of your ankles to the top of your head. First, we're going to look at weight distribution at impact. I mentioned that the average pro on tour will have 85 to 90% of their weight on their left side, right on top of their left foot at impact. You can see how the left line of the box is going right through Grant's belt buckle. He's got the center of his mass right on top of his foot. And so he's much more, you are certainly more on your left side than your right side, but you are not as far to the left as Grant is. So he has a much more aggressive lower body shift to the left. That allows him to compress the ball a little bit better, allows him to have an attack angle that's going to hit the ball first more consistently than you. You might occasionally hit behind the ball because you're not getting your low point in front of the ball enough. Now the impact position is the most important because everything the golf ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics and motion that you deliver at the moment of impact. Everything you do prior to impact has the sole purpose of arriving at a fundamentally sound impact position. So let's look at some of those other positions prior to impact that makes it more difficult for you to arrive with more weight on your left side. Here we are in the one position, and you have a lot of similarities in your setup as Grant does. Grant has a nice extended left arm that's almost in line with the shaft, as you do. Grant's hands are in front of the golf ball, which allows his low point to be more in front of the ball. Your hands are in front of the golf ball, which has your low point in front of the ball. So those things look really good. There are a couple of differences. Let's look at those. Grant does flare this left foot out, whereas your foot is a little bit more square. Now, that allows, turning that ankle out allows Grant a more comfortable shift to the left side without rolling onto the side of the ankle. And so the subconscious mind is not going to resist an aggressive shift to the left, knowing that it's going to be moving to the front of the ankle, whereas you may have a subconscious resistance to that because it doesn't want to go rolling into the side of the ankle. Probably the biggest difference is in the weight distribution at the setup. Grant has a little more weight on his left side at the beginning of the swing, probably 55%, could be closer to 60%. You look like you're actually hanging back a little more to your right foot, maybe just a little bit, but certainly 50-50. You do not appear to have more weight on your left side than your right side. What Grant is in, Grant's kind of in a little mini impact position at the start. He's kind of preset himself into that left leg. He's going to have a single axis golf swing around his left side, and he's not going to sway to the right because there's no value in moving to the right, knowing that 90% of your weight has to be on your left side at impact. And so the more you move to the right in the backswing, the further you have to travel back to the left on your downswing. So it's something you may want to experiment a little bit. It's just a little bump of the hip to your left side. Don't make a drastic, distracting change, but just a little bit more weight on your left side as you set up. Let's take it back now to the three position. The three position is when the left arm is parallel to the ground. And so now you're both in the three position. And you can see how you have, if you were 50-50 at the beginning of the swing, at the one position, you certainly are now more on the right side than your left. Grant has actually done the opposite. Grant has more on his left now than he did at the beginning.
So Grant started with a little bit more weight on his left side, and then in his backswing, he actually leaned towards the target in order to better prepare himself for a 90% position at impact. And you've kind of swayed to the right, and so you're going to have a much more difficult time arriving with 90% of your weight on your left side. And the main reason is that you move too much weight to the right side in your backswing. So I would like for you to learn how to stay on your left side in your backswing, or you're rotating around your left side. You almost want to feel like you're squashing a can with your left foot. You're pressing the ground with your left foot in your backswing. From the upper body, I'll look somewhat similar in that you have a really nice extension in your left arm, and you've already achieved a 90-degree wrist hinge when your arm gets to parallel to the ground. So that looks very good. Now we're here at the top of the backswing, and we both know that you already have a long backswing. Does it contribute to the difficulty of not getting all of your weight on your left side? Probably to some degree. Grant probably hits his irons just as far as you do, but he's able to do it with a more compact swing. He doesn't take it back quite as far, and if one were to guess who's more consistent at hitting it consistently solid, it's going to be Grant. Grant's kind of falling towards that target and using his lower body, his legs, to also help pull that club down into that golf ball. Now I'm going to take you down to impact from the top. You're starting to move left, starting to unwind. Here you are in the 5 position, I'm sorry, the 6th position, when the club is parallel. Let me take Grant to that position. You can see how he maintains that angle in his left arm and shaft. When his club is parallel to the ground, he's in a pretty similar position in terms of right elbow, left arm, hands in front of the thigh. He's a little further forward with his hands in front of his thigh than you are. He certainly has a little more angle in this leg than you do. That helps him drive and push off that ground a little more. He has already at this position has the center of his body right on top of his foot, and you still have more weight in behind the foot. And then as Grant comes into the ball, he's in a little better geometric position so he can compress the ball a little bit better, have a more penetrating ball flight. I like your extended arms. All the fundamentals are really good. It's just the core of your body is not participating as much as Grant's is, and you can just, I would gently work on it. You hit the ball pretty well, even though you don't have this particular fundamental of weight shift control. It's not necessarily preventing you from shooting consistently in the mid to high 70s. It would be difficult for you to get to probably the low 70s without shortening and making your swing more compact.